The operation and precautions of Seesheen flexible video ureteroscope. Hello everyone. Today I will introduce the installation and operation of Seesheen ureteroscope as well as its precautions. Unboxing. Open the suitcase. The box contains HDMI to DVI adapter cable, BNC adapter cable, Lure T, SD card reader, power adapter, leak tester kit, waterproof cover, 1mm cleaning brushes, power cord, operating section and image processor. The operating section. The operating section consists of distal tip, a bending part, an insertion tube sleeve, insertion tube rotating, instrument channel port, operating handle, function buttons, angle handle. The bending section is controllable to reach 275 wide angulation range, and video connection cables. Installation of Lure T kit. The next step will be the installation of the Lure T kit at instrument channel port. First of all, to make sure the bottom of the knob aligned with the instrument channel port, tighten clockwise to complete the installation. Extended part is the irrigation port. Just remove the cover to irrigate during the operation. Moving up to the top, locking knob here for fiber optic. Put in the fiber optic, then tighten the knob clockwise to fix the fiber optic when it can be found in a proper position at the distal tip. The image processor. Next is the introduction of the image processor and its installation. From the top we see a SD card slot which is equipped with the standard 64GB SD card. And the power switch button just beside, short press to turn on, keep pressing to turn off. At the right side of image processor, there are microphone, CVBS video output interface, to connect with external monitor via equipped BNC adapter cable. Next one is for the HDMI video output interface, to connect with external monitor via equipped HDMI to DVI adapter cable to deliver high definition image, and then the 12 volts power supply interface, equipped with a power cord and power adapter to charge image processor. And the last one for the video input interface, for connecting the operation section to deliver the real-time image. Next I will show you how to connect the operating section to the image processor. We put the video cable connector with the blue arrow mark aligned with the image processor's input interface with blue mark. Insert it and press, and the duh sound means that we complete the installation. The video cable connector is spring locking device. For the disassemble, just hold the image processor first. While hold the spring device, in accordance with the instruction of the rear arrow, pull back, then the hole can be pulled out. Next, to show you the function menu of the image processor, short press on the button to turn on. Then you can see the Seesheen logo. Point the logo, the function menu can be hidden, and the function menu will show again. Point the quadrangle icon. The first button on the left is to adjust the brightness of the LED light at the distal tip, with 3 levels of dimming. The second icon for the video output signal source function. The image processor supports HDMI and AV signal source output. Click this button to switch. The third icon is the video output ratio function. The video output ratio is 16:10 by default. You can switch the image output ratio of 16:9 or 4:3 by this button. The fourth icon is the white balance function, which is used to adjust the color reproduction of the image. The fifth icon is the playback button, which is used to watch the photos and videos we took previously. The sixth icon is the information button, from which we can see the operator model and number info. The seventh icon is the setting button to set up the image processor for recording, full screen, corner cutting, color adjustment, restoring white balance, and so on. The last icon is the home button to go back to the home page directly. The next step is to demonstrate the function buttons of operation section. The one button is for zoom in, out the image. By short press this button can switch to 3 different size of image. The 2 button is for capture, recording. Short press to take a picture, long press to record a video. You can also shortly press to take a picture during the video recording process, and keep pressing this button will exit the video recording. The 3 button is for freeze function. Short press this button to freeze the screen, and shortly press again can release the freeze. Angle handle to control the bending of distal tip. Hold the operating handle, the thumb controls the angle handle, and by controlling the up and down of its manual lever, the bending section can be adjusted to bend up and down by 275 degrees. Left-right rotation function. The distal tip can be rotated 120 degrees by rotating to left or right, which facilitates multi-dimensional viewing of images in vivo. Fiber optic insertion procedure. First, install the Lure T-kit in the instrument channel port. Put the fiber optic slowly into the Lure T-kit and extend it downward until the fiber optic tipping in 3 mm away from the distal tip. Then tighten the Lure T clockwise to fix the fiber optic. At this time, the laser fiber, as seen on the image, generally is 1/4 of the way down the overall image. Note: the tip of the fiber optic must be 3 mm away from the tip of the endoscope. If it is too close to the endoscope camera, it will cause image interference or damage the endoscope. Make sure the insertion tube be straight when passing through the channel, and wait until you can see the tip of the instrument on the screen before the treatment operation. Do not insert the optical fiber when the distal tip is bending to avoid damaging working channel of endoscope. Notes on operating section. Push the angle gently so as not to damage the angle adjustment function. Do not bend the insertion tube that is less than 10 cm from the connection of the protective sleeve. Bending diameter. The coil diameter should be no less than 200 mm to prevent the insertion tube folded. When using a flexible ureteroscope, do not apply excessive force or twist the bending section. Laser fiber therapy. When inserting the laser fiber, fully release the angle handle and keep the flexible ureteroscope straight as possible. When to activate the laser should only be activated when the tip of the laser fiber is presenting in the endoscopic image, otherwise may result in patient injury and damage to the endoscope. Before activating the laser, confirm that the tip of the laser fiber is visible in the endoscopic image. Do not withdraw the endoscope while the bending section is still angled. Retracting a flexible ureteroscope from the ureteral sheath may result in damage to the insertion portion if the angle of the bend is not restored. Make the bend to straighten gradually. If feel resistance during retrieval. It could be difficult to retrieve the flexible ureteroscope if there are stone fragments embedded in the gap between the flexible ureteroscope and the tube sheath. Pulling excessively hard on the flexible ureteroscope may damage the outer layer of the endoscope insertion part. In this case, please carefully pull the ureteroscope and tube sheath together. Maintenance points. Handle flexible ureteroscope carefully. Make sure that flexible ureteroscope not crushed, especially when placed in sterilized containers. Don't overbend the insertion part when storing the flexible ureteroscope in the container. Don't mix the flexible ureteroscope with rigid endoscopes or surgical forceps in the table or during post-processed procedure. Additional guidelines for flexible ureteroscope. Here, let's illustrate how to operate a flexible ureteroscope in more complex situations. When the insertion part is approaching the target, the endoscopic image does not change even the insertion part be pushed. The reason may be that the curved part of the endoscope is stuck. Don't use excessive force when pushing the insertion part into the urethra or calyx, as this may cause damage to the curved part of the endoscope. In this case, we use the X-ray transmission method to check the position of the bending section of the flexible ureteroscope, as well as its shape, then move the ureteroscope gently and reinsert it when it can be moved smoothly. If there is no change in the image, even if adjust the angle of the bending section, the flexible ureteroscope may be stuck in a tight space. And when in a tight space, e.g., the inferior calyces of the kidneys, if adjust the angle in the opposite direction, it may damage the bending section. In this case, please use the X-ray transmission method to check the position of the bending section of the flexible ureteroscope, as well as its shape, then move the ureteroscope gently and reinsert it when the bending section can be moved smoothly. When the flexible ureteroscope enters the kidney, it may be difficult to reach the renal calyces because of the anatomy or the surgical situation. If you feel any resistance during the maneuver, do not twist the insertion section excessively hard, and try to insert the flexible ureteroscope in a smoother maneuver. Safe use. Safe operation. It is important to refer to the instructions before and after the use of flexible ureteroscopes, and to scrutinize them to ensure that they are being operated in strict accordance with the instructions.